Turin, January 1889. Winter fog hangs above narrow streets. The air is cold, people walk, carriages move, nothing unusual. Until suddenly, a horse collapses, its legs fold beneath its own weight. The animal stops moving, its owner pulls harder. Nothing. He pulls again, still nothing. Then he begins to strike it. Once, twice, again. The street slows down. People notice. Nobody intervenes. And then, someone leaves the crowd. A thin man, dark coat, exhausted eyes. Friedrich Nietzsche. He does not shout. He does not argue. He does not speak. He walks directly toward the horse and wraps both arms around its neck. Then he stays there. Not to stop the violence, not to teach morality, not to defend animals. He simply holds the animal and begins to cry. Witnesses later described it as complete collapse. Minutes later, his mind breaks and never fully returns. This became one of the strangest endings in intellectual history, because history remembers Nietzsche differently. The philosopher of strength, of discipline, of self-overcoming, of becoming harder, of becoming greater. The man who wrote about climbing above suffering. And yet, his final public act was not conquest, it was compassion. That image remained because it revealed something uncomfortable. Nietzsche's greatest enemy was never society, never politics, never religion. It was his own body. For years, his body had been deteriorating. Migraines, violent headaches, nausea, digestive pain, eye problems, long periods of isolation, days spent inside dark rooms, periods where reading became impossible, periods where writing became impossible. And still, the thinking continued. That pressure never disappeared. His body weakened, but the machine inside his mind continued operating, sometimes faster. That pressure changed his writing. Nietzsche could not sustain endless philosophical systems. Long structures became difficult. Thinking itself became expensive. So his ideas changed form. They became compressed, short, sharp, dense, fragments, aphorisms, single sentences carrying impossible amounts of pressure. Not philosophy built like architecture. Philosophy built like controlled detonation. And this was only the beginning. And eventually, Nietzsche began changing his tools. Not his ideas, his tools. Writing became difficult. Long sessions became painful. His eyesight weakened, his hands tired faster. His body introduced limits. His mind refused to accept. So he searched for another method and found one. The Molling-Hansen writing ball. A strange machine. Metal, keys, mechanical pressure. Not paper and ink, but impact. For most people, it was simply an early writing machine. For Nietzsche, it became something else. A replacement interface. A second nervous system. He began typing. Shorter movements, less strain, different rhythm. And something unexpected happened. His language changed. Sentences became denser, sharper, harder, more compressed. His friends noticed. His letters changed. His books changed. One of them wrote, "Our writing tools also work on our thoughts." Nietzsche understood immediately. Because this was not technology. This was migration. Thought moving into another architecture. And maybe this is why Nietzsche feels modern. Not because of what he believed, but because he experienced something before everyone else. The body became insufficient. The machine entered, and language changed. He stopped building systems, stopped building cathedrals, stopped building philosophical empires. Instead, He produced strikes, pressure, fragments, sentences designed to remain inside the reader, not arguments, not explanations, impacts. Then his work became darker. Questions changed. Not what is true, but what creates truth? Not what is moral, but who benefits? When morality appears. And suddenly, philosophy stopped behaving like search and started behaving like excavation, layer after layer after layer, until only pressure remained, and Nietzsche kept digging. But eventually, the questions became larger. Too large. Nietzsche no longer wanted to understand morality. He wanted to understand why morality existed at all, where values came from, who created them, who benefited from them, and what happened when they disappeared. That was the dangerous part. Because Nietzsche did not attack religion, he attacked certainty. He looked at civilization and asked a simple question. What happens when people stop believing that their values came from somewhere higher? His answer was not celebration, it was warning. Because once old meaning disappears, empty space appears, and empty space never remains empty. Something always enters. Power, ideology, fear, identity, movements, leaders, systems. Nietzsche gave that condition a name: nihilism. Not sadness, not depression, something colder. The moment. Nothing feels self-evidently true anymore, and suddenly, everything becomes possible. That was not freedom, that was pressure, because now human beings had to create meaning themselves. No authority, no guarantee, no final answer, only responsibility. And Nietzsche believed. Most people were not prepared. So he imagined something impossible, a human being capable of creating values instead of inheriting them. Not stronger, not richer, not superior, more responsible, someone able to survive freedom. That idea later became distorted, misused, reduced, turned into slogans. But Nietzsche never described domination. He described burden. Then, his own system failed. His body stopped, his mind stopped, and for the final years, the man who spent his life analyzing consciousness could no longer fully participate in it. Silence replaced language. Others spoke for him, interpreted him, rebuilt him, sometimes incorrectly, sometimes violently, and maybe that was the final irony. Nietzsche spent his entire life trying to teach people how to think for themselves, and after he disappeared, millions of people started explaining what Nietzsche really meant. But perhaps he already answered that years earlier, when he wrote, "Whoever fights monsters should see to it that he does not become one, and if you stare into the abyss also stares into you." Maybe that was never advice. Maybe it was autobiography.